One word, gaslit. For that one word, it's called gaslighting.
Little disclaimer here at the beginning. I made this video before I watched Professor Vakman's video about gaslighting.
About gaslighting.
That he posted 6 days ago, which was a few days before I started working on this video. So still unclear to me what gaslighting really is. He's saying that narcissists do not gaslight, that they actually believe their delusions and therefore are just trying to get you on board with them. But I know for a fact that my husband lied to me a lot. I also know that he had, all of the other features of NPD and had all the patterns of behavior. So, and I know he straight up lied. He confessed later on, oh yeah, well that was a lie. So, with many things. So I know that he actively lied. So is it that they switch into that psychopathic state when you start calling them out on their shady behavior? Is that what it is? They switch into the borderline or the psychopathic state and then they just lie? Because then they're self-aware in that moment. Once they become self-aware, they're not caught up in the false self, then that's when they'll just lie. Like the psychopath, they'll gaslight you because they don't care that you're confused. They don't care that you are onto the truth, that you almost have caught them. I mean, you basically did catch them. You've got all the evidence right there and they're still denying it. So is that the psychopathic state? Anyway, I'm going to post this video anyway, even though I'm not quite sure what gaslighting means. I have this idea. All of us people who had to do a lot of research into narcissism and are now sharing our knowledge with others through YouTube, we should start a trend called #gaslit, #gaslit, all caps.
One word, gaslit.
So gaslit, all caps. And we should tell a lie that our narcissist, or one of our narcissists, told us while we were with them that was so unbelievably stupid and outlandish and crazy.
Narcissist is seriously stupid people.
Because I think it'd be funny. So I'm going to start. So I got a hold of a phone that he had hid for a year and a half from me. And it had WhatsApp installed on it. So I confronted him on that. And he says, WhatsApp? I don't even know what WhatsApp is.
What?
And I get the Apple data report, and it's very clear that he's the one that downloaded WhatsApp. There's all these apps that were looked at that were bang up hookups, dating app, anime pocket girl app. Clearly nothing that I would have been looking at. And he had typed in porn because the handy dandy thing about Apple data, app activity, app store activity, is that it shows every single thing you type in. So it showed that he typed in what's to bring up WhatsApp. So it wasn't like he just came upon it. He actually typed in the word what's.
Okay.
I said, I can go get that report and he got irate. Where I'm like, fine, because he denies. And I'm like, well, I could show you the data form if you want. And then he would, say something, go get it, but be all angry. And he ends up telling me that if he downloaded WhatsApp, he downloaded it to send clips of pornography to himself.
Would be a good place to put your all hashtag. Gas.
That is what a big fat gaslighting looks like right there. #gaslit.
He knew that I thought he had downloaded it to communicate with this woman he had a year-long affair with. These clips of pornography they would see if he were to go online. I actually accepted that. I chose to willfully be blind to the fact that that was a lie. And But then later on, I confronted him on it and I said, you have a flip phone. He's not allowed to have a smartphone to view him, really. And he was quiet. He went quiet. And then like a couple minutes later, I'm like, well, do you have anything to say about that? And he's like, sometimes it's better to just be quiet. My narcissist told me that he needed to go to the store to get some lunch meat, turkey lunch meat, after 9 o'clock at night. And I said, well, just for lunch meat? He said, yeah. And I looked in the fridge and there was some lunch meat. There's like 2 different packages of lunch meat. I said, what? There's lunch meat right here in the fridge.
Big fat gaslighting looks like.
Hashtag
That
gaslit.
one word. It's called gaslighting.
My narcissist suddenly started locking the door behind him when he would come home from work. And I asked him why. He says, I don't know, it's just autopilot. I just started locking it.
That one word, gaslit.
Hashtag gaslit. He was talking to it's a fair partner, later found out. And one time I came home and the door was, I just had a feeling that the door was locked. And so I had my key ready and I came through the door really fast. And sure enough, he was on the phone with her. But he hung up immediately. And he comes around the corner, he's got a butcher knife in his hand. And his eyes are wide like this, and he's just so shocked. I'm like, why are you so shocked? Why are you like that? Why you have a knife? And he's like, well, you scared me. I didn't know who was coming in the door. And I said, your wife? It's your wife? And so he calls his affair partner back immediately because he knows that I'm keeping track of his phone use. And he knows that if he doesn't call her back, then I'm going to know something's up, right? Because then it's like, okay, you lock the door behind you. I come in the door. You are so shocked that you come around the corner with a knife and your eyes are wide. What were you doing? What were you guys talking about that made you startle so much when I came in the door, you know? So he calls her back. But she's oblivious. She does not... He says, sorry I had to hang up on you. What was it? I should go back and get the exact thing. In fact, I did find that clip. Well, it's a voice memo. I did a voice memo diary. I still do. Well, now I do video diary, and you get to enjoy them. On the voice memo, it was 2 days after I caught my husband doing something with this woman at our dinner table. It was late, and I was tired. I had to work the next day, so I went to bed. But I had a weird feeling, so I listened, and all I could hear was dice rolling, and I laid down by the door that goes into our dining room. And I said it was 20 minutes, but I don't know if I would have been able to endure for 20 minutes. I kept voice memos writings because I was alone in the marriage. I was alone. I literally was alone because there was nobody home in him. And also I was protecting him, so I didn't tell people about the way he was treating me. If I told people how he was treating me, then it was going to hurt me and my family, right? Puts you in a difficult place where you don't know, could this work out? Could he actually fulfill his promises that he makes to me? Is this going to work? And then if you do wonder if it's going to work, you can't tell anyone about what they're doing. So anyway, what I did was I put together a bunch of pictures of this woman and our family, and I blurred them out because I don't want to disparage anybody, but I just feel like it gives a little more color to more richness.
That's rich.
To the story. Of course, I overdid it, but I think it's good. And then after that, I got several angry voice memos, and I think that my angry voice memos are rather humorous. Of course, I don't want to do anything that dishonors God, so I don't want to. I have a right to be angry. I still have a right to be angry. Neither of them have ever confessed to me. Neither of them have ever repented. He confessed a lot, but he didn't confess everything. He was still lying. He's still, to this day. So I don't know if I've fully forgiven them, and maybe in the process of doing these videos, I can fully let go, because it will be like, you know what? It's out there. It's out there. It's out. It's away from me. That's why I like to write voice memos. It's cathartic. It's the release of the emotions. It's very, very therapeutic. And so, welcome to my therapy. I wanted to share some exciting news, though. So, a couple of things. Professor Vaknin, I emailed him a video I recently did because I thought he would find it amusing, because I included little clips of him. It's the video that I did right before this one on my YouTube. And he asked my permission to share it, and I had to think about it. I actually consulted with my sister, because it's kind of personal, and like Professor Vaknin has like 170,000 subscribers. I went ahead later on that day and I emailed him and I said, if you wish, you can share it. So he did. I know he did, because it went from 10 views to over 700 views overnight. I haven't really looked through it. I did read some of the comments late last night, but it's pretty exciting. It is really exciting. I also found this AI app yesterday. You can make famous people say whatever you want them to say. I didn't know such a thing existed. It's so much fun. I mean, I was practically crying with laughter at some of my things I was making, like President Trump say, or you can make Jordan Peterson say something just silly. This is silly, goofy humor.
I have a new book. It's called 12 Rules for Having an Acceptable and Decent Sense of Humor. A sneak peek to rule number 1. Do not create dad jokes with the expectation that it will cause others to cry with laughter. Your highest expectation of others when you create a dad joke is perhaps a slight hint of a chuckle. You can take that as an acknowledgement of your wit. However, you should not get upset when people do not respond to it with cackles and howls. Actually, explosive laughter in response to a dad joke is indicative of psychopathy. And
the silly, goofy humor that most narcissists don't understand, if you notice. Like I've noticed, they don't understand it. Well, Professor Vaknin does. He gets it because he's goofy.
Okay, listen guys, this is video number 246 that I've made about gaslighting. Really, there's nothing more I can say. Okay.
But most narcissists, they don't get the goofy humor. They don't do sarcasm. It's kind of autistic, just like Professor Vaknin says. They have some similarities with people with autism. They lack the emotional connection with themselves and the world. So, anyhow, I'm going to share the following, which is a voice memo, and it'll start off talking about the event at the dining table, and then I will go back to the subject, which is the gaslighting. Oh, I locked the door because I was on autopilot. I didn't lock the door because I was hiding anything.
What? Right here would be a good place to put your all hashtag. Gas.
That is what a big fat gaslighting looks like right there. Hashtag gaslit.
That's a deplorable gaslighting. Absolutely deplorable.
I just really like making famous people say the word gaslighting. It's really made my day today.
No identity is a mess. Is an absolute narcissist as seriously stupid people, as dummies, the quintessential, epitomized dummies.